UC Berkeley is one of the lucky recipients of funding from NCC as a pilot for this new comprehensive digitization and discoverability program under development. With this funding, we digitized our holding of Kadenshū manuscripts in 2018. Here I discuss this material and what we did after digitization to make this resource more accessible and more usable. So, what is Kadenshu? It consists of 146 volumes of handwritten manuscripts produced in Japan in the 19th century, which was previously held by Mitsui Bunko in Tokyo. This material provides biographical information such as birth and death dates, names of parents, and a chronology of appointments and other administrative responsibilities within the imperial court regarding hereditary heads of kuge or the imperial court nobility. Here are a few images from Konoe Keden as an example. Actually, the individual volumes of Kadenshu are scattered in our library's manuscripts collection in the closed stacks, which is arranged by the radical stroke order of the first character of the title. For the purpose of digitization, we brought these manuscripts together and cataloged in a single record under the title of Kadenshu, which we supplied. Soon after the digitization and close examination of the texts, I came to realize that this type of material is more commonly known as shokeden. If you search Nihon Kotenseki Sougou Mokroku database provided by the National Institute of Japanese Literature, NIJO, you can find a uniform title entry of shokeden, as you can see here, under which many manuscript holdings are listed, including Seikado Bunko, Kunaicho Shoryobu, and Tenri Central Library. Here I should clarify that this hampon, or a printed edition, is for a book entitled Shokeden Kindai Shidai, a different entity from shokeden. According to Nihon Koten Bungaku Daijiten, shokeden is transmitted by manuscript, and the number of volumes, organization, etc. are not constant depending on the manuscript copy. Because shokeden includes those who didn't become kugyo and those who died early, entries are more detailed than those in kugyo bunin, which only lists those who became kugyo. How complete is our Kadenshu set? In order to make comparisons, I searched for any reproductions of shokeden or similar resources that I could easily access to, and found two resources. One is a print publication entitled Shokeden, edited by Masamune Atsuo, originally published in 1939 to 40 as a part of Nihon Koten Zenshu series. It was based on the manuscripts held by Kujoke and Ogimachike, covering mostly up to the mid-18th century. Compared to this shokeden publication, UC Berkeley's Kadenshu has a significantly longer coverage, mostly up to the mid-19th century. The other very useful resource is a digitized version of the manuscripts of genealogical records with individual titles from Asukai Kafu through Reizei Kafu in Japanese Aiueo order, produced mostly in 1875 by respective kuge families, in response to the order of Daijoukan Seiin Rekishika, a bureau established in 1872 by the Meiji government to compile an official national history of Japan, which was one of the preceding bodies of the Historiographical Institute of the University of Tokyo, Shiryohen Sanjo. I discovered this resource only recently, but it provides very rich information about former kazoku aristocracy, especially the genealogical records in keizu format. When I compared the coverage of these three resources, I noticed some missing families in each set. When Kadenshu was put together around the mid-19th century, there are supposed to be 138 kuge families. I could locate 135 out of all 138 families in Kadenshu, and those missing are Hamuro, Nakamikado, and Tomikoji. Hopefully this slide and the next show better about missing families in Kadenshu and Kafu collections. I listed all those 138 kuge families that were active by the end of Tokugawa period. Those in red in square brackets are missing families in Kadenshu manuscripts. Those in light blue in brown square boxes are missing families in the Historiographical Institute's Kafu manuscripts. In addition, I inserted underlines also in brown to indicate where the Kaden section is missing in Kafu manuscripts. In other words, regarding those underlined families, the genealogical records are available only in keizu or a family tree format. Thus, limited information is given for each person. Here is the second slide. And perhaps I should clarify here that UC Berkeley's Kadenshu manuscripts generally do not have keizu. For users' point of view, the usability should increase if they could use both keizu and kaden at the same time. Now, let me talk about the process of digitization and making this resource available to the world. At the UC Berkeley Library, digitization of library materials has been generally handled by a unit called Imaging Services under the library IT. Thanks to NCC's funding, they prioritized this digitization and managed to finish taking photographs of over 7,200 pages of Kadenshu manuscripts and make them available in HathiTrust in less than 3 months, to my surprise. However, my surprise continued. In fact, soon after my announcement of availability, I came to learn that people outside the US could not view Kadenshu images in HathiTrust due to the MARC record we created. When we cataloged Kadenshu in OCLC for the first time, we could not determine the date of production precisely, so our catalog record had 18 UU for a questionable date. But this date entry was translated to 1899 in HathiTrust. There is a clear statement about copyright restrictions in HathiTrust, which reads, I quote, "Because of differences in international copyright laws, access is restricted for users outside the United States to works published outside the United States after and including 1879, end of quote. To resolve this access problem, we had two options. One, to change the MARC record with the date before 1879, and two, to host the image files on a different server, and we tried both. Since 2014, Professor Ryo Akama of the Art Research Center of Ritsumeikan University and his collaborators regularly visit our library twice annually to digitize some of our Japanese rare holdings, and they also offer us a portal for digital collections of our library's Japanese special holdings. To resolve this access problem of Kadenshu in HathiTrust to users outside the United States, we decided to put Kadenshu in this portal. Moreover, whoever has an account with this portal can insert notes in the user memo page attaching to a specific digital image, and the portal offers a searching functionality just targeting to those pages. I was fascinated by this because using this tool, I could create a personal name index online, I thought. So I began to manually input names that I could find in Kadenshū manuscripts in the user memo pages. When I did this work, I consulted with Kuge Jiten by Hashimoto Masanobu and Japan Knowledge. In this slide, you can see several names for each person in Ichijo family, for example. Those are the names that we manually added in the user memo pages. You can search any of those names and get to the digitized image instantly. With help from a student assistant, we completed our manual data entry of names for over 3,100 aristocrats in less than 3 months. And in December 2018, we made a soft launch of the user memo pages. Then, in February last year, Professor Akama kindly prepared an online exhibition page for Kadenshu in the portal to hopefully make this resource more visible. Here you can see displays in Kadenshu Etsuran and Kadenshu Jinmei Kensaku pages, respectively. The former has Kokubunken Kensaku button, which links to the entries of the same title in Nigel's Nihon Kotenseki Sougou Mokroku database. Kadenshu Jinmei Kensaku database allows you to search personal names included in Kadenshu, as I discussed earlier. Furthermore, in fall last year, we added direct links to CAFU web pages provided by the Historiographical Institute in Kadenshu Etsuran display. As you can see here, CAFU often includes Keizu, and these buttons allow users to use these two remote and related digital resources easily. In addition, also in fall last year, with help from a graduate student intern from Ritsumeikan University, we added the introduction and the arrangement of Kadenshu page, in which all those 135 families are organized by family status with links to Kadenshu images. This is what we have done so far to make this resource more accessible and usable. As for future development, since we recently digitized another set of Shokeden manuscripts from the late 17th through early 18th century that we had in UC Berkeley East Asian Library, I am now comparing this and Kadenshu with a particular focus on discrepancies of entries and variant names found in these two resources. In closing, I would like to convey my special thanks to NCC and the Art Research Center of Ritsumeikan University, which allowed us to digitize and make this rare manuscript set of Kadenshu available to the world. I also would like to thank Professor Akama and other scholars from Japan who provided us with invaluable advice and support so that we could explore ways to provide improved access to the vast contents and make full use of this resource. I believe many libraries have unique and valuable research materials that perhaps you want to digitize and share widely. I truly hope that NCC, with support from the funders, could fully develop a sustainable program that enables us to digitize and share useful resources effectively with any researchers in the world, and encourage scholarship to further our knowledge in Japanese studies. Thank you very much for your attention.